a Playlyst original.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast,
where we review the pilot episodes of TV shows to answer your question, should I watch this?
My name is Mistletoe.
And my name is BJ.
And this week, we're watching the listener-inspired Mistletoe Murders on Hallmark.
So stay tuned to find out if Me Too wants to be a Christmas shop owner.
Ooh, okay. Now you've finally presented something that's interesting. Because whenever it's like, stay tuned to find out if Me Too wants to fight crime with her bare hands, it's like, I don't know, spoiler, we'll see. But this, you have my attention. I'll be thinking about this. Until then, why don't you tell us what happened in this show based on a hit Audible series?
Sure. On Mistletoe Murders on Hallmark, Emily Lane, played by Sarah Drew, is a mysterious woman who moves to the small town of Fletcher's Grove in upstate New York. She buys a year-round Christmas shop, and then a series of murders strike the town, forcing Emily to face her past and begin investigating crimes, despite the objections of Detective Sam Wilner, played by Peter Mooney. So, Mitu, we should start with a quick introduction with our friend of the show, Rachel of Hallmarkies. You've actually seen some of season 2.
Yes, I reviewed season 2 with Hallmarkies. They had screeners, very fancy over there. And so we got to watch the whole second season prior to all of it coming out. And we recorded 3 reviews together because essentially the way that this show is structured, I learned in reviewing season 2 before having seen season 1, is they're episodes in pairs. So it's 6 episode seasons, and then there's 2, 2, and 2, so 3 total mystery stories. So in this first one, we have a veterinarian whose fiance/ex-husband, very fun small town business right there, is found dead on a Christmas tree farm. And then we'll find out who done it in episode 2. And then there's going to be another mystery for 3 and 4, and probably the biggest mystery for 5 and 6, if it's similar to the season 2 storyline.
And I think that's a smart structure. I know we have discussed offline how it's always weird that there's a lot of murders in a small town in these types of setups. But I think limiting the season to what it sounds like 3 cases makes it stand out less that there's back-to-back murders.
Yeah, like maybe if you live in this town around Christmas time, y'all go somewhere else. Maybe go to a warmer climate. Just anywhere that you'd be safe from people dropping like flies in this tiny, tiny town.
And it's really tiny because we see a lot of suspects who are people that Emily regularly encounters.
I love all the red herrings because it's all people around them. We learn that, of course, June is a suspect because Marcus is her ex-husband, even though they decided to get back together, and then he became her fiance before dying. We have a suspect in Marcus's ex-girlfriend because apparently he was with that boo truly right up until getting back together with June. That's suspicious. We have a suspect in our own lead, Emily, because we learn that Marcus dies by poisoned cookie, which is not a big spoiler. I think that's the pilot episode name, something like the poisoned cookie or whatever. And so could she be part of it? Obviously not, if we're continuing to watch this show, unless it were like a really fun perspective of a serial killer thing.
Oh.
And then we learn that another suspect is the person who owns the farm where he was found because that guy owes him money.
And it was late at night.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one, I won't spoil too much, but a coworker of Marcus.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They have some interesting history, and he's connected to some people. And all of this is being investigated by Sam, who has a closer connection to Emily than she realized because Emily's only employee is Sam's daughter.
I love Violet. I think she brings much needed humor in this show. there's a line that she had where she confronts Sam over this murder happening. And she's like, this is a small town, kind of bananas that this giant crime has happened. And then she was like, I might be in danger myself. And she turned to her daddy and she said, do I look like final girl material to you?
Yes.
That made me laugh so hard. I liked that. Sam himself, I have mixed feelings. And I had mixed feelings when I watched season 2 with Rachel as well.
Oh, tell us more.
He has these moments where he is clever and you're like, I get it. And then he has these moments where on not a lot of information, he comes in kind of guns a-blazing.
Yes.
There is an arrest that happens in this first episode on what feels like so little evidence, and it is done so publicly and in such a humiliating way that it's like, typically in these shows, obviously the first person arrested is not who done it. And then as the show proceeds, are those two people supposed to coexist peacefully in this small town?
Yes.
Sam would be dead to me.
We move on.
How?
That's it. You just do.
You arresting me in front of all these people before I even finish my breakfast.
In front of the book club, too. In front of the popular lady in town.
Now, the popular lady in town, Brooke Carmichael, I did not know that she was kind of a mean girl, it seems, this first season. In the second season, she is definitely self-interested, but she's mostly just very silly. She was a humor bright spot in the second season of this show. I laughed anytime she was on screen.
I could see her taking that direction, but right now she does seem like the exclusive, stuck-up mean girl in town who wants Emily to come to her for advice.
You know what vibe she has? Barbara Jean from Reba.
You know Reba better than I do, so I believe you.
Something about how you said that felt derogatory, but I'm going to let that go.
And while you let that go, I think we should also talk about the teasers. So we have the good mystery with lots of suspects, but we're also getting teasers about Emily's past because she knows enough to stay one step ahead of Sam throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, sometimes in ways that feel surprising to me, like maybe you don't have kind of the best guy on the job if he's being outsmarted in such silly ways by this lady several times in this first episode. But I think that was us learning how smart she is and how clearly she has some kind of shady past if she can move with such stealth to investigate this case on her own behalf and on behalf of her friend, June. I also think that it's inherently intriguing when there is a new person in these tiny towns, especially one that buys something like a year-round Christmas shop, because clearly you're escaping something to come here in this place and run such an interesting concept store.
She loves Christmas. She dusts the ornaments regularly. She has cookies that she gifts to her friends. I don't see what's odd about that.
Okay, maybe that's me. But if you decided to leave your major town to go to upstate New York or wherever into a town of like a couple thousand people, I would be concerned.
And you know, I'm seeing it now because if you add on what we know about Emily, that in this first episode, she will comfortably lie to anyone to get information.
Yes.
It raises some red flags.
She has this shady friend in Ray, who I enjoy.
Yes, she has someone who can get her information. She has some things hidden in her home. And I'm just going to give this spoiler. She can pick a lock.
Yes. And we get one flashback on her that tells us a lot. Even though it's not long, but it is very telling.
Speaking of telling, how do you feel about Emily's narration?
A lot. I said, this is an Audible series for real. I felt like I was listening to the Audible series.
She wants you to know what's happening, what she's feeling, what she's thinking.
While she's feeling it, while she's showing us, she would like glare at something and then be like, I was upset at that thing. And the narration, it's like, I trust that you were upset. I actually saw it. Like, I get this. I'm following the narrative. And so I think that it was a little bit much for me. And I shared as much when Rachel and I reviewed. It's fun and it adds to this kind of classic mystery appeal. I think that it crossed over to being a little bit too much, where we were truly hearing about things as we're watching them happening. And I wonder if that's the influence of the fact that this is from an Audible series.
I think it is. When you shared that it's based on an Audible series, it makes sense to me where this narration style comes from. And I do think it's a weakness because there aren't very many quiet moments in the show where you just take in what's happening. And I think it could benefit from giving the viewers a pause to think about, okay, what does this clue mean? What does that person's reaction mean? Instead, Emily just tells us.
There is a scene where Emily goes over to June's home and a man is leaving her home at the same time that Emily's pulling up. And instead of giving us, to your great point, the space to be like, what's going on there? The voiceover says something to the effect of, there was a time I would have been curious about a man leaving the home of a woman grieving her fiance, but today I'm just here for June. And it's like, girl, I get that. I'm looking curiously at it. You're looking curiously at it, but you're still getting out of that car to go be there for your friend. I trust that you're suspicious of it. I trust that you are this clever character.
And now we know for sure.
And now I know 100%.
Do you know 100% of the things about this show in order to watch the first season?
Yes, I will watch the first season again. Seriously, I am a holiday movie, holiday show lover.
Mm-hmm.
This is my favorite genre of movies and shows and music. And so I'm definitely sat for Mistletoe Mysteries. I'm not sure how I missed out on the craze last year, but I'm here to correct that now. I plan to watch this first season. And if you're like a Hallmark Mysteries fan, I think you'll enjoy this. I think if you are not a holiday show or movie person, this is not one that I think would transcend and you would tune in. Like, for example, I recommend the excellent Queen Latifah film, The Last Holiday, to anyone. Mm-hmm. You could be a holiday movie lover. You could just be a person. You need to watch The Last Holiday. This one doesn't quite feel like that, where it's like beyond the genre. This sits squarely in the genre.
I agree. I would still watch this maybe while cooking. I do like that we're getting these 2-part mysteries, and it does have the holiday theme, but for me, it's more of the mystery side that's appealing. And I like the pacing of this story, so that keeps me interested enough to know more.
It is intriguing.
So me too. Would you own a year-round Christmas shop?
No, but I would frequent one.
Why wouldn't you own it?
It doesn't seem like a great business. I don't know.
You do it for the love of Christmas.
I don't know that I do anything for the love of the game. So maybe baking. I do love to bake for the love of the game. But then again, I would not bake at a scale where I'm losing money. So unclear.
Okay. If this year-round Christmas shop was in your neighborhood, how many times do you think you would visit per year?
More than I would admit to you.
I like that honesty. Okay.
There would be Saturdays where you and I are texting or chatting and you'd be like, what are you up to today? And I would just say anything else. Like, oh, I just hung out, ran some errands. But
I'm on the couch.
I'm not telling you that those errands are the Christmas shop again.
Even though the selection's probably the same as last week.
Yeah. But I won't know until I find out.
And we don't have Emily here to tell you.
Exactly.
Well, we can tell you some thoughts and opinions about other shows if you head to our website, thepilotpodcast.com, and you can follow us on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
You can also follow us on social media at thepilotpod, and you can send thoughts, feelings, show recommendations, because every other week, just like this one, we do a show recommended by you, our wonderful listeners, to askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.